Hello and welcome to Zephyr's Gambit. My name is Matt and I'll be your DM for today. Today I have with me two of my good friends and a new friend. So welcome to Jim, Chris and Connor. Last time in Slice of Desperation, we were on a little sort of trip on a transport vessel because we knew that we had CVR tell us that they were being attacked all of the time. Their vehicles were being attacked all the time, and so we hopped on board one of their vehicles and went along for the ride. And sure enough, the gang came on hover bikes and attacked the convoy. We slowed down. We came to a stop. We tried to run some people over. We didn't really succeed at that, but we managed to eliminate the bikers and we got some vital information just before the bikers passed away, and that was we got. In total, there was 3 pieces of information. One piece of information I forgot to tell you. The pieces of information were that once we get into the cave where the gang is hiding out, that there will be a gondola there. Basically, on the walls of the gondola, there's a little lip, and we're to look on the inside of that lip, underneath the lip, for something. We don't know what that will be, but that's the information that we've been given. The second piece of information was that at the back of the cave, that there will be a wall, a cave wall that will look like a cave wall, but it will be a false wall. The third piece of information that I forgot to tell you all was that the leader of the gang supposedly has some very good reasons for doing what the gang is doing. The person that we were talking to died before they were able to tell us, explain themselves, what this was all about. But we do have this idea going into this game that there might be some good reasons for them doing what they're doing. They're still doing the wrong thing, probably, because people are getting hurt. But there might be more to this story than what CVR led us to believe. So that's where we're at. I will get you guys to introduce your characters and see what you guys are thinking, and we'll head towards the cave, which I've put up on the screen here. So first, I'll go over to Connor because his character is new, and his character is not going to be with us right at this second. He is actually held captive inside of the cave. Our characters do not know this, but we as players know this. And tell us a little bit about your character, what he looks like, Connor, and what he's thinking as he's been captured and put in a cage inside of this cave.
Um, he is kind of a fast talker. He is fairly good looking, if I have to. He's got a jet black hair with a little gray streak in it, though it doesn't seem to be from age. Well, not well, this is unfortunate that he's in this cave right now. Kind of sucks, but he thinks he can turn this to his advantage.
Okay. Let me tell you, you are cutting out a little bit. We're getting little
Oh
bits
no.
and pieces of what you're saying. Um, might be worth reloading Discord. I'm not sure if that's going to help, but maybe give it a go and see what we can do. We'll go over to...
Terribly sorry.
No, you're okay. This happens, technical difficulties. We're on the internet. It happens.
All right, I'll drop the call and I'll pop right back
All
in.
right, no worries. So we might shift off the screen a little bit while that's happening, but that's okay. Yeah, we've shifted a little bit, but that's okay. He'll come back and we'll be able to fix that right back up again. Chris.
So, I am playing Meneth Fayback. She is a Bothan trader. For those who don't know, Bothans are sort of cat-like people. They're sort of furry and petite, and she is a kind of a proper, you know, person who's going down an interesting path now that she's joined up with this group. And I think right now she's got some trepidation. She's been wounded and again, and she's a little nervous. I think about, you know, maybe not so much, fear or anything about going into this. I mean, somewhat, but more so like wondering what the heck is she doing, because it's very out of character for her. Some of the choices they've been making
Yeah.
so far,
Right.
especially her. So.
Excellent. And Jim.
Hi, I'm Jeef, and what do you want me to say?
Whatever you would like to say.
Well, I'm a handsome yet rough-looking man, as you can tell from my beard. And no, sorry, I had to go there. I'm playing Jeef. Jeef is a Sullust, quite young, in fact, and likes to work with things more than he likes to work with people, whether it's droids or fixing ships or fixing speeders or devices or items or hacking those devices for his own personal collection. Hasn't really done anything with anything he's found yet, but he likes having those things. And that was me, by the way, who tried driving the bus onto those people on those speeder bikes. Unfortunately, it turns out I'm pretty sure the bus was a manual, and I only know how to drive an automatic. So, yeah, this is a bit of a situation. Jeef is a bit curious how this is going to turn out because I have no problems if I have to get my hands dirty, as long as it continues to move forward.
Yeah.
Being stagnant is probably the worst part about about anything that anybody can be. And since having lost our original third member, and I'm stuck with this other one, it's becoming a little bit difficult to stay the course and be selfish.
All right.
But I'm trying my damnedest.
Doing good. I'm not 100% sure if our health is correct at the moment on our tokens, but does anyone recall getting hurt?
I was definitely hurt. I am showing that. Go back to my character sheet here. I'm showing that I have 4 wounds and 3 strain.
3 strain. All right, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All right. Whatever is incorrect, we'll just live with. So you guys are approaching cave mouth, which is in just this long, very, very long mountain, and very high mountain. And this cave sort of is looming up ahead of you. Unfortunately, this picture didn't come sort of close to us enough, but it'll give you a bit of an idea. We're not quite this close, but just to keep us on the screen, I've put us that close. We're back probably about, I'll put us at extreme range when we, and we're in just this series of brush and trees and rocks and stuff. So we have quite good cover We've sort of snuck up. We parked the bikes far enough away that they wouldn't be heard, just to get a bit of an idea about what we're coming into. And so we're looking at this cave mouth, and we see it's starting to get dark, and we see up sort of on a height, looking down on the approach to the cave. There are two groups of gang members that are carrying beam torches that they keep shining out from their post, looking out for both their companions that we have dealt with, and for any intruders that there might be. These beam torches illuminate about it's like a short range circle as they're moving around. So if they can illuminate, so from where they are, they can illuminate a long distance, and then where the beam ends, it illuminates a short range sort of circle on the ground. So they're quite powerful, and we see them, and they sort of cross paths, coming to and fro for about 10 minutes. And then one of the beams will go dark as the gang members go back into the cave network. And then about another 10 minutes later, they will come back out and shine their torches again. So it's about 10-minute intervals between these things. You're getting this idea that there's these patrols. The one group is always on the outside. The other group goes inside for a bit and then comes back outside. This is what you've seen and what you've come to expect now that you've been here for a little bit. So let me ask you what you would like to do, how you want to approach this situation, and we will go from there.
Yeah.
We didn't call reinforcements, did we?
No, we do not have reinforcements.
We should have.
And currently we're at extreme range, and we have not been detected at this stage.
Thank goodness.
Is there any way that we can get above that cave mouth and, drop rocks on them?
Drop rocks on them.
Let's be honest here. Talking to them, to be completely honest, I don't know if you've noticed, I'm not really good at that. And in this situation, talking to these guys, no offense, I don't really trust you to say the right things for them. Mm-hmm. But and my good old trusty blaster right here is only good if I'm pretty much right up to them. So yeah, I'm good with dropping rocks on their heads.
I've got to admit, Chief, I kind of agree with you on this one. If we had more of us and we were going to surround them or something, that'd be one thing, but...
Right.
Well, I'd be happy to let y'all do that.
Think about negotiating with us in this situation, so... Mm-hmm. I don't know, what do you think about that path up there?
Alright, well, before we get too far into this, let us roll our... Destiny, so that we're all clear.
Destiny. No escaping that for me.
Oh boy. 1 and 1.
Yours did not appear correctly, Chief. I'm not sure why.
Awesome. Here we go. Roll Destiny.
There we go.
Yes!
Oh.
All right.
That's what I hope for.
Now,
That's all I ever wanted in life was dark side points.
I don't know whether Connor can hear us, so let me...
I can.
You can? Cool. So, do you know how to bring up your character sheet, Connor?
On this, yes, I do.
Right, so, yep. So, journal character sheet, and then you should see in the... in the character sheet portion, there is a Destiny pool, and there should be a button there called Roll Destiny. Hopefully you'll be able to find that. For now, though, we have 2 dark and 1 light, so this is good, and for some reason it's not doing that. That's lovely. Let me just... Alright, we'll use that
now
for
we got 3 in 1.
So... basically, you guys have had the chance to, like, explore to your left and to your right, down this mountain. And you found no pathways up. And what it seems to you, after doing this patrol and having a pretty thorough search, is that inside the cave there must be a tunnel that sort of curves around and ascends and exits where these guys are patrolling. Doesn't look like there's another pathway to be able to, like, come around and then drop rocks on them. You could, however, attempt to climb a relatively sheer cliff face and hope for the best.
No.
Well,
No.
we may just have to time it out.
Right.
And head in when they're
when there's
gone
only
and...
like 1 group up there rather than 2, for instance. Okay. So
no, let's not climb. Let's go in. It turns out I think we can do a good job against these people. We did all right last time.
Yeah.
Let's go guns blazing.
All right. So do you wanna have both patrols on the outside, or do you want to have one of the patrols on the inside when you start this fight?
We've been timing them out, and it's taking 10 minutes for them to come back.
10 minutes, yeah.
I think it'd be good if they were in.
Okay.
I disagree. Absolutely.
Maybe wait 2 or 3 minutes after they've gone in, and then...
Okay, so Jeff disagrees, so...
No?
No. Oh, no. No. We have no idea what it's like in there. And if we get the small group when they come out, there's a better chance that they can hold themselves up, and we don't know what we're running into. I say at least while we're out here and we can see what we've got, we can draw more of them out here. And, I mean, I'll shoot you McShoot-shoots, and we can maybe try to get them closer to the trees, and we can... So we got at least something to hide behind.
So you want to...
Be honest,
I see what you're saying.
I'm going to need that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes... Yeah, draw them into the open and hope that more and more come out in small batches.
Okay. So to give you a bit of perspective, they're about 25 feet up, looking down on the cave mouth. If that changes anything, I'm not sure if that changes anything for you guys, but that's...
How does the stability of what they're standing on? How stable does it look?
So it's just like the rock just has like a shelf. So they're standing on solid rock, You could attempt to shoot out the rock. You think that that's possible. On a story perspective, if someone like rolled like spent a story point on a successful hit, then yes, absolutely you could start something with that, but it's gonna need a story point for that to happen. So the characters themselves think that's unlikely, but it's possible.
So what's the distance from the cave mouth to what they're standing on?
Like I said, it's about 25. They're just 25 feet above it, basically directly above it.
Oh, directly. Oh, so that could be potentially blocking off the.
It's not quite. So they're 25 feet up and about sort of short distance, or up to 20 feet across onto the left-hand shelf. So,
I guess we could just allow ourselves to get caught.
If they don't just try and shoot you.
I trust your decisions more than mine.
Yeah, you don't know how these guys are going to react to you being here, whether they're going to try and capture you or whether they're going to try and kill you. We haven't established that. The ones that we already saw, until we actually engaged with them, they weren't actively trying to hurt anyone. They were shooting their guns a lot in the air. And then when we stopped, and when we sort of... They came on board and then we sort of ambushed them. They were roughhousing people, but they weren't actually shooting people until we engaged with them. So you think you've got that in your background. So what we think about these guys based on what we've already seen is sort of up to you. But this is their hideout, so they might be a little bit more defensive and a little bit more reactionary here.
Well, shoot him or get captured. Or what else? And I'm already pulling out my gun.
I'll get my blaster out, and I think you're right. I think we should shoot him.
Okay.
Did I pick up another blaster?
I believe so.
I think you picked up a whole bunch, but whether or not you decided to pack any of them is...
They all had straight up blaster pistols, and they all, as well, two of them had slug thrower rifles as well.
Did we pick those up? We should.
We can say that we did. It's...
I would just have picked up you said a blaster rifle or no?
So they're
blaster
pistols and slug thrower rifles.
Cool. I will just have picked up a blaster pistol then.
Okay.
I can't imagine that Mineth would pick up. She'd just stick with her blaster, I think, because she can barely use that as it is.
Right. Yeah.
Although she is improving.
Estelia would take a pistol and she would pull it out for this. She would say, look, I'm not really comfortable, but being that they're at that high vantage point, I don't really see a lot of... Maybe I could run in there, but we don't know if there's more reinforcements inside, so that's probably just as risky. So yeah, she will pull out the pistol as well.
I forgot about her. Okay.
I mean, I think this is going to be bad no matter what we do.
Yeah.
All right. So now let me ask you this. Do you want to try and approach stealthily and catch them by surprise?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
That's what Chief will do, period.
Excellent. Well, I will get then everyone to roll some stealth checks, please, as we're gonna make progress there. That's...
What's the difficulty on them?
I will put in that difficulty. It's just gonna be average. Let's re-roll that one.
You're putting in the difficulty?
So...
Okay.
Hang on. I've got to put it on the correct sheet. So the difficulty is set. Yes. And let me make sure that
Okay.
Estelia is... yeah. Alright, so she gets a wash. You're fine, Mineth. You don't get spotted. And Jeef, you are fine. You don't get spotted with that triumph. Cool. So with that triumph, you could spend that to cover Estelia's failure, and make it so that the whole group doesn't get spotted, if you like.
That's not what Jeef would do.
Okay. You tell me then what Jeef would
Jeef
do.
is... Okay, so Jeef sees this as a perfect opportunity to, like, oh crap, she's gonna get caught, and I've got my gun out. Like, let's say this situation is perfect for the two of us. For the two of us, me and Mina, because Australia's gonna get caught. But we are at such an advantage that we are in good spots that when they notice her, they're like, "Hey!" and it makes it easier for us to get the jump on them.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, that's how this is going to go down then, and I will. The way you guys can decide then. I don't think we necessarily need to roll initiative for this because you guys have got the jump. So, knowing that, do we want to just narrate how we do that? And so, do we want Estelia to get seen and then someone to shoot or challenge her, however that's going to happen, and then for the other characters to act? Do we want the other characters to act first? We can probably narrate that if you like, or we can just roll initiative. It's up to you guys. I'm sort of seeing in my head that we've got the jump on them, so we can sort of do this how we kind of want to.
Okay. So then let's.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll leave that up to Jim because he got the triumph.
In a moment of sheer clarity and not necessarily the greatest form of himself, you Jeef on his walk is dropped. No, I've already spit that triumph. Let's not do that. Jeef is set up and literally and are we narrating this combat instead of rolling it, or?
That's what
we were narrating initiative. So how you want? Do you want them to act first? Do you want to act first? How do you want to get that jump? Is kind of what I'm asking. Because
Jeef would totally shoot first. He's totally just in this situation get a move on, because
so I'm gonna put Estelia,
we have other things we've got to do.
Right at the cave mouth, okay, because she's been spotted. They spot her. They're pointing their guns down. You've got the jump. Go for your life with, and obviously your role is going to be. So how at what distance do you want to be when you get this jump?
I need to be pretty close. I need to be within short range.
Within short? Alright, so you're within short, which means the difficulty comes down to 1. They have a shelf that's giving them cover, which gives you a 1 setback die.
Okay.
I've set that difficulty. And then, you can make a shot. You have the jump on them. They're not expecting you, so you can have a boost for that.
Okay. Make sure. Oh, what am I doing? Hold on, let me go to my weapons page. I was doing everything there inside of my there we go. 1B. And got the difficulty set in there?
Yes.
All right.
Whoa.
Okay.
All right. Awesome.
So,
solid miss.
but there's 4 advantages there. So what happens?
Jeef is like has seen this perfect situation and looking over there, and they've showed up and they've spotted Australia. I jump out and I'm like, and I'm just like firing away, missing left and right. But like at the same time now, I've drawn so much attention at me, and it's like I'm creating confusion. I am like, and they're laughing at me, going, "What the crap?" There's like Australia is just an obvious target, and then this short little Solus jumps out all chaotic, thinking he's gonna be all Billy Badass, and it doesn't turn out great. But it's enough of a distraction that, let's say, yeah, it leaves them wide open. And I'd like, let's say, let can I use what is it? Two of those setbacks, or excuse me, 2 of those advantages to remove the setback, saying that maybe like the shot moves them closer to an edge.
Yeah, sure.
Further from me, closer to.
Yeah, you remove that setback.
Okay. Cool. I'll use 2 of them to remove that setback, and in that same opportunity, Minith completely is aware of that, and the shot is wide open.
Right. Now, Minith.
Yeah, the shot is wide open for her.
Yeah. What range does Mineth want to be when she gets her jump? Then
I believe I need to be at medium.
You need to be at medium, which makes it 2 difficulty. You've got a removed setback.
Oh, it's engaged. Range is in. Oh wait. Yeah, medium is correct.
All right. So I've set your difficulty there. The setback's been removed. You've got the jump on them, so you can add a blue as well. And go ahead and roll when you're ready.
And you added the blue as well, or I'm adding it?
What I'll do, I think, from now on is you add any positives and I'll add any negatives, I think.
Gotcha. Alrighty.
In your gun, in your modifiers.
Yeah.
If you just put like 3B, it'll put them all in there without having to change the dice.
Oh, okay. So it would be 1B.
You've got 3 because there's 2 from me.
Oh, okay, right.
And 1 for getting the jump.
Thank you. So I put 3B.
And then just roll that dice beside the critical, and that should give it to you.
Oh my god.
Can you say
You're
ouch?
terrible.
So what happens?
So Minith gets all excited. And with her weak gun skills, she just doesn't aim and fires this blaster, and it hits the rock and just ricochets off. Now they know we're all here.
And with those 4 advantages, what would you like to do?
I guess let's give them some setbacks. Let's give them like a setback for their next turn, and then maybe give Estelia a boost.
All right.
Because now they don't know who to aim at either.
Yeah.
Right?
So we can give Estelia 2 boosts. It's gonna be short range. There's no setback.
I can't believe I rolled the exact same
She's gonna
thing.
aim. And let's use that then. So it's gonna be range light. Okay, well, someone succeeded. Thankfully.
Yay!
Oh, okay, so she's gotten 8 points of damage. Alright.
Hold on. So literally, this triumph that gives us the best, like, the setup for this. They notice Estella because she's terrible at it, and all of a sudden we start firing away, and Estella's like, "They're not paying attention to me."
Absolutely.
We jump out like maniacs, thinking we're all amazing, and it just turns out.
Are we sure
like,
this game isn't Fiasco?
Apparently, this went
Yes.
horribly. All right, and so she takes out one of the members of the first. So there's 2 groups of 3. Okay, she takes out one of the first group, meaning that there's now a group of 3 and a group of 2. And with those 2 advantages, she's going to give them another setback. So they're going to have 2 setbacks on their action.
Nice.
The smaller group, on their turn, being that one of their members has gone down, is going to use their comlink and alert the inner sanctum, you might call it, of the gang cave, that there's intruders and that they're dealing with them, but just in case the intruders are the victor, they're just notifying them that they're under attack. The second group, the group of 3, will see that Estelia is the one that made the right shot, so they're going to shoot down at her with 2 setbacks. So they're going to have 2 setbacks. It's only short range. They're going to aim once, and they're going to have 1 green and 1 yellow. That was correct to me. So they actually succeed. I'm going to get rid of everything now. They actually succeed, and they're using a blaster pistol, so it's 7 damage less Estelia's soak, which is 4. So 3 points of damage to Estelia. They get 1 advantage, and with that 1 advantage, they will give the next one a boost die. So that's their turn. And we've got PCs. So given that you guys have both missed, you've seen them radio for help. How do you want this to go down? Who wants to go first?
Got it. Chief will do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Chief will.
That's good.
What's it going to take to climb up there?
Oh, so it'll be athletics and...
Okay, Chief changes his mind. Chief's like, I'm going to do that. Wait. Oh, my shoulder hurts. Okay.
Yeah, you could make it easier. So if you made a coordination check, you could run up and jump and try to grab a hold of like a shelf halfway up or something, which would mean you'd only have to make a much easier athletics to just get the last bit. But it's technically athletics to climb, coordination to jump.
Chief's shoulder hurts.
Okay.
Chief's shoulder hurts. No. He's going to try to move, like find some nearby, or shoot, and then find some nearby cover.
All right. You can absolutely do that. Not a problem. Let me
Pew pew.
make sure you are at short range.
Yes.
Cool. The difficulty's in. You should be good to go.
All right. No blue dice got passed around?
No,
That's
Stellia
all right.
gave them a black, so.
Gotcha. Here we go. Boom, boom.
Okay.
Hey, that's more like
So
it.
seven damage and a crit.
7 damage and a crit. Okay, well, which group do you want to bring down, or...
Honestly, I've got I only do stun damage with this gun.
Okay.
So I would probably be trying to stun the one who radioed for help.
Okay. So they're effectively just stunned out of being able to fight at this stage.
Right.
So...
Because it's all what is it? Strain damage.
Yeah, but because they're minions, they don't have strength, so it becomes worse.
Right.
But yes, so they're effectively taken out of combat. So there is only one group of 3 left. Now, you said you wanted to move and take cover? So anything against you will have. So you can either do that without a check to give them 1 black against you, or you can do that with a check. It would be survival to give them 2 blacks against you.
Okay. You said that they are on a lip over the cave mouth, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Cool. So then how far am I away from being able to be under the lip?
A maneuver.
Sweet. So then if they want to shoot me, they're going to have to really lean over that edge.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going.
All right, so that'll put you here, basically. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that's...
I don't trust my survival rolls.
Yeah. No, well, you now, because of where you went, and I didn't think of that now gives you definitely hard cover. They can basically not see you. So you're unseen, really. Do you want to take it next minute, or do you want Stellia to take a shot first?
No, I'll take it next. So I'm gonna fire on him.
All right.
And I am also going to want cover.
Now, are you still at medium?
I am still at medium.
Okay. All right.
I don't know where I need to be, but...
No, that's okay. So you can make that shot. I've put in your difficulty. You're all set to go.
Okay.
I will literally be behind, like, under there, and when I see you looking for something, like, I see you eyeing my cave mouth. I'm, like, trying to get you to stay out of here.
So technically you failed, but you do have a triumph.
Right. Boy. I don't know what to do with that triumph.
So if you want, if you recall, I did say that, there was a story point up for grabs where you could, shoot the cliff instead. You've got a triumph there, so you could, with the triumph, say, hey, it's actually going to be a hit, but it's going to be a hit against the cliff. And sort of make that happen.
I think that might be the best way to go.
All right.
So I'll use the light side point.
Mm-hmm. All right. And because you're spending a story point, and there's a triumph there to say that you managed the hit against the thing, I'm going to say, and because they were leaning out and right on the lip of that, they will absolutely fall. Now, is Star Wars the same as Genesis with falling damage?
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
It
You don't want to
is?
fall.
All right, so they take 20 wounds and 20 strain, so they just die. Yeah, they will just fall, tumble down. There's blood everywhere as their heads smash against the cave wall, and you guys have been victorious.
Let it be known that she has now killed more people than Chief has.
Noted.
She's supposed to be this nice businesswoman. Boy, I just don't know.
All right, so let me
Maybe
take
she's
all
get a
you
little ripped
guys
at.
into the cave, where we will find Zello, and he'll be actually able to roleplay with us. Sorry to keep you waiting there.
No worries, folks.
And I am taking us over there now. And I'll scroll.
Yeah.
So you probably need to scroll down a little bit. You may even need to zoom out. I'm not sure about what's going on, but and because let me just myself go back. Well, I'll actually delete these tokens, and I'll actually go back to the outside, and I'll copy the new tokens since they've got the updated health, and I'll paste them into this one. Paste them into this one. There we go. So you come into the cave. You would be able to collect the weapons of the rest of the gang that you killed, and the ones that you basically knocked out. They are still knocked out, and they for as far as the story goes, are not going to regain consciousness for the session, basically. So you
Right.
you come into this cave. Now, I know that you guys can see because I haven't sort of put on the occlusion, but it is dark in here. The gang that fell down, they did have these lamps, so you could take one of those to be able to see in here. Coming down into this cave, like I said,
Yeah.
it's dark, but you come to, I guess, you see water, and you see that just over here, it's not on the map, but there is a gondola that's docked just down here, and that you remember that there was some details about that that you were told. And as far as you can tell, that's the only way that you could get across. And you can't see far enough. You can see light on the far side, but because it's so far away and it's dim light, it's very difficult. You can see figures moving, but you can't really make them out from here because it's dim light. And yeah. It's dark. So, given that, what do we want to do?
So we're talking gondola like a boat in Italy.
Yeah.
Not gondola like a okay.
But it's a little larger
sure.
than the ones in Italy. These ones, and there's like a space on the back of these where you can park a speeder. So the speeders can't actually that they were riding on. They can't actually go over the water. So you can like park 4 speeders at a time onto the backs of these of this gondola and ferry them across to the other side, which is what's happened. So they're quite sizable for being gondolas, but it's a rowing boat. So.
Okay. So I think unless Jeef had any objections to taking the lamps, um, Minith would grab one as well as the arms.
Oh
Uh,
no, Chief is like it's stuff. It's mechanical. He's probably gonna
yeah.
grab three.
Okay. Good.
He's interested.
Good.
He's like,
Because
yes. How
she's
can I
just
make
kind
these
of
into a
thinking
lot better?
that we look more like them if we come in with what they had. So,
Absolutely, yeah, and you,
you
you
know.
can you can grab a comm link too if you want to like send a message and say, hey, look, all clear, we're coming back down or something like that. Then you guys will definitely have the jump because you have a lamp and you have a comm link, um, and you know that there's something on the bottom of the lip, like inside the gondola, for you to check out. So there's that too. So you have like 3 points of advantage there, as far
Nice.
as being not recognized as intruders.
Do you think you could possibly, bend your morals a little bit and do your best impersonation of that dude you just killed and tell him everything's all right over the comms?
You think they won't notice it's a female voice and not a male?
Hey, you feel like lying?
All right.
Do we?
We're all
Or-
fine here now. How are you?
Right.
Here,
So she taps the.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. How about this? How about I turn it on and just start screaming while you go, look out! One got away and he's going back in the cave. So that they expect someone to come back.
Don't you
They'll
think
think that
that'll
we're the
bring him?
ones coming back to help them.
Okay. All right.
Seems like a plan. All right, so
Sounds good.
yeah, you can do that.
Please, always remember that Jeef is more excited about a story.
Yeah.
He's not. His plans are like, this sounds exciting. It doesn't necessarily mean it's good.
So in this case, there will be a setback die because you don't necessarily know exactly how these guys communicate with each other. However, you have their lamp and you have their comm. So I'm going to give you 2 boosts. I'm going to put those boosts in this time.
Okay.
So I've got the boosts, I've got the setback, I've got the difficulty. You go ahead and just press the button, basically, make sure you're all cleared out, and we should be able. So it's a deception check, or yeah.
Yeah. Deception. Darn it. Let's see. Where are you? I
But
guess
there's a
my
lot
deception's-
of pluses that you've got. Oh, holy God!
What
Yeah.
happened? Yes.
Nice.
What happened?
You absolutely succeed with 3 advantages. So yeah, they're like, oh, cool. We'll make sure that there's a medic or whatever, and so they are absolutely not expecting enemies at this point. With those 3 advantages, you can heal strain, or you can narrate something else if you like. 3 advantages is enough to throw something else on the table. While you're thinking about that,
I don't know.
yeah, while you're thinking, Zello, you are in a cage. He's in a cage. And that's so. And you can see that there's 3 groups of 3 thugs out here. You can see that they're totally not expecting for there to be enemies, and as far as you can tell, more thugs are coming, because that's what the radio message was. They're like expecting, their allies to come over to this side. You're fed enough, barely. You've been here for about 24 hours. They've given you fresh water, and they've given you like stale bread to eat. Is there anything that you want to say or do at this point, given that? Yeah, given your situation.
I hate to be boring, but I think Zello's going to wait and see. I think he's going to look expectantly, like he's going to pay attention to what's going on, but I don't think he's going to do anything just yet.
Right. And at this stage, they have your gear. But
such as it is.
Yeah. They let you keep your robes, however. So you can keep your robes, but your weapon, they have, not that it was very much, but anyway, they have that. And they have your goggles and everything else. But it's, so you'll wait. Everyone else can hop into the gondola. So you look, knowing that there is something to look for, you look under the lip and you see a series of images that have been written on in charcoal or something like that, and or lasered in with a weapon. Probably that's more Star Warsian. They've been lasered in with a weapon, and basically they're symbols. There is blackened in circles and hollow circles, and they're in a series. And what you sort of discern, I'll actually get you to make some checks, unless you have a gut feeling about them. So there's just a series of symbols. Some of them are hollow circles, and some of them are blacked in circles. Does anyone have a gut feeling about what that might be? Or you can make a check to see whether you can figure out what they're for. I'll give you one more piece of information before you decide. There is an unlit lantern on the gondola.
Okay, so it's like a Morse code.
Will Mineth communicate that that's her gut feeling?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, just kind of look expectantly at Chief to see. He's the mechanical one. Maybe he has a different idea, but...
You look at me and I'm like... If you say that, I'm like, what? You turn it on and off.
Well, it's like... So but we're missing the key. We don't know what the key... We don't...
So it's like hollow, dark, hollow, dark, dark, hollow, dark, sort of thing.
So it's like the code so that they know. So it must be a hooded lantern. So I check out the lantern to see.
Yeah, it's got a hood, yeah.
So we make it flash, and then it gives them a signal, and they know.
It is a hooded lantern?
Yeah, upon closer inspection, you find that, yeah.
Could I just use the flashlight?
Yeah, sure.
The torch?
Yeah, you can sort of cover it and uncover it.
Yeah. I'll...
And I guess I'll start...
As she goes to...
Huh?
I'll hold it up and I'll do the pattern.
Cool. All right. Well, they're totally... you've got basically 3 points. Again, you've radioed in, you've got your torches, and you've given them the correct pattern. So I've just taken you over to the other side. You guys can... Well, at the moment, we'll put you inside the gondola. So I'll quickly just So you'll be out in the water just at this second so that you guys can decide how you want to approach this. But you know, absolutely, that they are totally not expecting enemies at this point. And you can see 3 groups of 3.
3 groups of 3. Just get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And how much of this can we see at this point, too, as far as what's there?
Let me give you a quick sort of rundown. So let me do this in yellow. So everything that's like yellow inside that yellow thing is so they've got light. So that's kind of brightly lit, and then like coming back, let's do pink. So dim, and then up to there is shadow until you point your lantern in that direction, and wherever you point your lantern, let me give you an example. It would sort of do that, yeah.
Oh, great. Okay.
So, but it's dark wherever your lantern isn't pointed, although it would be like, you might get that much at any one time. So,
okay.
Yeah.
But they can see the light, our light from a distance. We just can't see beyond it.
Right,
Yeah.
so they can see you whenever you've got your light on. You can see them because they've got like a fire or whatever in that area. If you were to turn your torches off, they wouldn't be able to see you at this distance. Where the pink line is, that's kind of like
The edge
beyond
of
there
their...
is going to be dark. Yeah.
So we should try to proceed without the light, maybe.
I'll take away the drawings. You get a bit of a picture of what you're looking at anyway. Yeah, so you can proceed without light, or you can proceed with light. They obviously know that you're there. They're expecting their allies. They can't see who you are until you get a lot closer. So you've still got surprise. Not surprise that you're there, but surprise that you're enemies. Surprise will last. I'll just draw the surprise line. Until you cross that line, surprise will last.
And what's short range? How many squares did we say short range was?
So that line is medium from you. So every 3 squares is like a range brand. At this point.
Oh, okay.
Or 4 squares.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Lines at medium.
Well, I'll whisper over to the two of you. We could.
Okay.
The best way to make a machine stop is to just take care of a part of it. Then the rest of it still works. I'm pretty sure if we just focus in on one group and they know that we've hurt so many of the rest of them, we could probably just let the rest of them go. Or we could just try to let them all go, or we could shoot them all, or
maybe just stun them?
Or hey, there's that guy over there in that cage.
Yeah, you can see the very dimly lit. There is a cage over there. Sorry, I'll put that back. So yeah, he seems to be.
Sneak over and let him out. Maybe he'll help.
Yeah, you would be able to. I will even update the. Yeah, nice. So you can get there without and sort of let him out. You think that would be noise though, and you think that letting him out without maybe like checking in with them would be kind of suspicious, but you would at least be able to open that. Well, given you don't have keys to it though, so you could shoot it open. You think?
Does it matter to me?
I don't know, but knowing your character, I don't think so.
Which group would you
What
want
kind
to
of a lock is it? Oh, sorry. I can't see.
Chief? Because we could.
The closest one.
What kind of lock is it? It's
The kind you have to unlock.
I can just as easily not see it from here, or be able to tell.
yeah, it's hard to tell from here. But you know, if you were to go up and look at it, I'd call it just this big padlock that you could fairly easily shoot.
Well, I'm more curious of, can I take it apart?
Yeah. If you what I'll do is this: if you move 2 range bands, you'll be able to see that absolutely you can take it apart very easily, and you think that there might be some actually pretty valuable parts inside because it's quite sizable, and it's, you know, your old sort of old-fashioned kind of lot. So you think that there's lots of screws and springs and
Okay. Yeah. Then I'm down for that.
cool.
So the plan is let him out first,
I think so.
and then go after the group closest to him, or what do you
I
think?
guess be prepared to shoot them, and if he starts yelling and screaming, because for all we know, he's just one of them, and he's in trouble with them. I don't know.
Right? Who knows?
But I want that padlock.
Right.
I really don't care about the guy.
So Australia
That
will
looks pretty
move
cool.
like halfway. She'll sort of move. She'll actually move straight forward to try and make it so that it looks like everything's fine and there's nothing strange going on.
And Mineth will stay with her, thinking the same way.
Okay.
Um,
I'll let
thinking
you
that they're
stick
gonna think it's
behind
odd, or
just in case. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that's where we're at. Zello. You see some figures approaching your cell, and being where you're at, and being that you're closer to us than they are, you will immediately recognize that none of the captors that you've seen is quite as short-statured as the person that is approaching your cell. And certainly none of them look anything like this Celestin. There's no Celestins in your captors. So I don't know what you want to do, but I'll throw it over to you because we've sort of said what we're doing. What do you want to do when you see this Celestin?
If I called over some of my captors, would their backs be turned to the party?
If you made an intention to yourself, they would be looking at you, so they would maybe then see Jeef. If they keep on just talking amongst themselves because they're totally not expecting it, they're actually turned away from you and from the party at this stage. They're not really paying attention, so they're kind of, you think it would, if you wanted them to not see Jeef, then the best thing to do would be to stay quiet. But if you wanted them to see him, then the best thing to do would be to call out, because then their attention would be in that direction.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep quiet for now.
Okay. So this figure stays quiet. You want to approach this door and try and take this this lock apart, and so that will be a mechanics check. And it will be average. And you're going to try and do it without noise because I will add a setback for that. So I've done that. All of your difficulty is in.
Let me... Where is that? Cool, I have Gearhead, so I can remove a setback from mechanics checks.
Alright, setback is gone.
Alright. Here we go. Mechanics checks. Here we go. Big money, no whammies.
Alright. You absolutely succeed.
I accept 6 successes. Like, I am fiddling with this thing, and I was like, oh, I've heard of this, and I immediately just start pulling out tools, inserting things, pulling it apart, and like, you hear the whole thing go click, and as it comes off, and I'm still sitting there finishing taking it apart.
So everything goes perfectly fine. There is no sound. You make no sound, right? There is that click, but it's not audible. But then something that you didn't realize with those two threats, the door or the gate was kind of like held shut by this lock. So it kind of swings and sort of groans slightly open as you step away with those two threats.
Oh my gosh.
So the lock didn't make any noise, but the gate did.
Succeeded at doing it quietly. However,
Zello noticeably cringes. Just makes this face.
Let's see if they notice that, because I mean they're talking amongst each other. They don't really think anything's going on. So I'm gonna give them a perception check. They don't have perception, so it's just gonna be 2 green. I'm gonna call it. We'll make it that, but I'll throw in a setback because they're really not paying attention. Okay, so they do hear it.
yeah.
And they're like, "What was that?" And so their attention starts to turn your way. However, we've got some time to act now. Zello, you know that your door, your cell door or gate is open. You are effectively free. Estelia and Mineth, you know at this stage that the gang, while they have heard this sound, they don't know what it is yet. They're not necessarily expecting enemies. And G5, I'm going to take it that was your action as part of this round. So Estelia, Mineth, and Zello now have the chance to do something. So we'll take our actions, and then I will get the enemies to take an action, and after we've resolved that, we'll roll initiative. Because, yeah, this is all surprise as we're doing this. So, who wants to take that first slot? It can be Zello if you want.
I'm going to wait to see how the other two, or three, rather, deal with this.
Alright, so Mineth, what are you thinking? You've heard this gate, you see that the guards' attention has now shifted that way, but they're not quite at the point of knowing that we're foes.
So the range of the lanterns was only about 20 feet, right?
So, no, it was long, and then it illuminated ashore. So you could shine it directly into their eyes, for example.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking is. So maybe I guess I would move in enough to do that. And kind of.
Alright, we'll get you then maybe like here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I'll put you there, right on the edge. You can shine your torch right in their eyes. Is there anything else you want to do? That I would call that a maneuver. If you want to use an action, you could say I don't know. Just trying to think of a cool action other than shooting. If you want to
Right.
I don't know.
Pocket says,
It's up
ha
to
cha
you.
cha.
I was kind of thinking about just trying to stun them right out of the gate.
Right.
Kind of blind them and take them out before they have a chance to think about anything else.
So do you want to shoot into it?
I do kind of, yeah.
Okay, so they're effectively blinded, and they're going to need resilience checks on their turn to overcome that while you're shining this light, because they definitely weren't expecting that, and they're not really, so they're effectively blinded for the moment. So you can shoot into that. It's gonna be technically medium. And let me just put. I'm just gonna give them numbers at the bottoms of their things. Yeah, which one? 1, 2, or 3? Would you like to shoot at?
Right here.
2? Yeah. All right, so yeah, you can take a shot. Let me put in some difficulty. That's all good. You're shooting into bright light because that's where your light is. You've got the jump, so there's a boost die. Do you want to aim as well? That would be 2 strain if you wanted to aim.
So that's going to be 2 boost. 2 strain?
Yeah, because you've moved and...
I always get... There we go.
Alright, and then my difficulty is in. You can go ahead and roll.
Okay.
You succeed.
I succeed. With a crit.
With a crit. So do you want a crit?
I actually just want to stun them, so not really.
Well, so because your gun is on stun, right? The way that this will go is just as if you were shooting without stun on, except they're gonna be incapacitated rather than dead.
Okay.
So a crit will take that group out of the combat, but they're unconscious instead of dead.
Nice. Then yeah, I definitely want the crit.
Okay. So they're effectively gone. So and this happens over a minute or so of because Jeef's doing the thing. You've approached, you've shone the light. Then you take a couple of shots. And yeah, get them. They fall to the ground. Stalia has a moment, so she can move twice, take 2 strain, and she's gonna use her sword. So it's gonna be 2 difficulty. She's gonna get a boost. And Stalia, cool. And then she will roll her melee. She succeeds.
Nice, that a girl.
So that is for 7 points of damage. Her weapon. 1 second. Sword is crit 3 too. So she will bring that group down, but she's not doing stun damage. They will. She runs in and she slashes through each of these people. They all fall down dead onto the ground. We've taken out 2 of the groups. Zello, you know that there's only one group of thugs left. You're the last one to act in this round.
I'd like to scramble for one of the blasters.
Cool. It'll be 2 maneuvers to get to that closest group of thugs. I'll put you where you need to be, which will be there. So it'll be 2 points of strain. I'll put them in. Yeah, so you can grab a blaster. And you can shoot with it this turn if you would like.
I would love to.
Cool. Well, it will be short range. Let me update that for you. Short range. Actually, let me take everything. Short range is good. There's no penalties at this stage. You just need to click on your ranged light skill.
Okay, and that's under skills?
Yes. So
That makes sense. Yeah, sorry, dumb question.
no,
On the
it's okay.
combat tab.
We're doing this for the first time. You're new to us. So there should just be like a 20-sided dice symbol. Yeah, got it. So in this case, unfortunately, there's no success there. You've shot. You take a couple of shots, but they sort of dive for cover while you're shooting at them, and you don't manage to get a hit. No worries, Jim. With the enemy's turn, holy gosh, like 6 of them, they immediately throw down their weapons.
Nice.
And put up their hands and say, we'll take you to the boss if you don't kill us.
Bold of you to assume that I want to spend even a single moment more in this smelly, damp cave.
Well, they're talking to not just you two, but yes, you say that.
Oh, Zello doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Zello thinks everything's about him.
Yeah, okay. They mutter, mumble.
I turn to my rescuers and I say, well, suppose you two should get a vote, I guess.
Well, it would be nice to know why they've been attacking the CRV or CVR buses, and what are you doing here?
So you were on one of the CVR buses and they took you as hostage. And something that the characters don't know yet is that they sent a message with that transport that you were on back to CVR. But our characters don't know that, and you do, Zello. You know that that they spoke to the driver and got and asked the driver to deliver a message for them. You don't know exactly what the message was, but it was a message to CVR.
I'm going to keep this to myself for now.
Okay.
I'm just a poor victim in all of this. Quite a shame, really.
Well,
As I'm playing with this stuff, and even from there, I go, "Hello, boss. Can we finish this, please?"
Stalia sort of nods and she goes, "Look, I guess we were hired to um, to take out the boss. We need his holo tag." She says, "That's why we're here. Rescuing you is, I guess, well, it's part of it.
bonus.
It's just a bonus, yeah."
No, no. We're bonus, whatever. There's nobody who said anything about paying for this guy. There's nobody who said anything about it. So far, he's already not helpful. He's being kind of condescending. So, as far as I know, he's free to go on his own.
How long you been in that
How would I want
cage?
to talk money with him?
About 24 hours. I mean, if I had to guess. I don't really have a chrono in here.
Oh, hasn't been too long.
Stalia just looks at you and goes, well, that's long
she's
enough."
She's thinking about what Jeef just said and
Right.
thinking it's not like he was there a long time and that's why he's being the way he is, condescending. And so she's kind of wondering
Wait.
So
Wait.
I think, yeah. Why don't I think you should take us to your boss?
Time out.
Time out.
And I look over at you, turning my back on this other dude. Mr. No Name over here can give us information later. Can we talk with him after we finish the job?
That's why I just asked him to take us to their boss, Chief. I mean, come on. Let's do it. I agree.
The guards will show you the secret panel, and you'll see that to your south there is an area that's beyond the wall here, and that's where their boss will be. Now, as that happens, let me just make sure of something. I don't actually think. So I don't have a picture of him for you, but he is a Gamorrean, if that makes any difference to anyone.
No, it's good. Still looking at this new dude.
Greek
So-
to me.
Gamorreans are the pig guards from episode
Right.
6.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Are you gonna tag along?
No, I think I would go back to my cage, set up a nice home here.
Oh, I can lock you back up.
All right, okay, you've convinced me. I'll go with you.
You two are gonna get along great, I can tell. Let's get
Hey,
this over with, and then we can go about our business, and he can go about his.
I really am missing the sarcasm. Like, Jeef is missing. He's like, no, look, man, I'm really inviting you along.
All right, well,
As long as you go with us, you're fine. It's when you turn on us that, obviously, and I'm gesturing very, very actively toward Australia. Like, that's when bad things happen.
listen, I'm going to level with you. You saw my shots with the blaster. I'm not exactly a threat.
Actually, no, I didn't pay any attention to you and your blaster. I was messing with the padlock, which, by the way, is easily an antique, and I could probably make a lot of money with this. This is awesome.
Well, I'm very happy for you, but let's get going because I hate this.
Alright, so coming up on the screen, there should be a picture of this
there
guy.
we go. Isn't he pretty?
Yeah. Pretty big man.
His new boyfriend.
Well, okay.
My beautiful husbando.
And he is wielding a vibro axe. And he sort of He hefts his shoulders up as you approach, and I'm just gonna put this there. He sort of comes to about here, and that whole wall we're gonna consider is basically not there. For this, he will come up and he will cross over his arms, and he'll say, "Suppose that you were sent by CVR then." And he spits a big, disgusting spitball onto the ground.
Well, yeah, as a matter of fact. What is going on? Why are you attacking the buses?
He says, "You have no idea, do you?
Well, that's why I'm
CVR is a
asking.
menace to all of us and to anyone that doesn't have very much money. The poor, the unfortunate, they take advantage. And we're here to send them a message that they can't just step on us poor folk anymore."
So what are you trying to accomplish by hurting innocent people?
It wasn't our intention to hurt anyone except for them. Those pricks, those suits in their fancy little offices that don't care for anyone. We can't get to them where they are, so we had to try and scare them off, send them a message. We sent one with the last people. We took a hostage to try and get their attention, but they don't seem to give a damn.
Oh, they sent a message.
Yeah, we
You
sent a
sent
message when we took this one, and he points to Zello. When we took him, we sent him a message, but they haven't been in response. It's been 24 hours, and they haven't done shit.
Are you sure they received it?
Well, I don't know. We sent it with the driver. If he didn't deliver it, well, it's not really our problem, is it?
They didn't mention anything to us when they hired us, so what are you trying to negotiate with them?
Well, we just want a fair go. We want him to stop taking advantage.
They're a transportation company. What are you trying to transport?
He says, "That's not all they are. They're loan sharks." He says, people go to them
nifty.
and they take out a loan because they can't afford it straight up. And what CVR does is they keep on making more and more money on them. They keep on increasing the price of the loan higher and higher so people can't pay, and then they screw those people over.
Oh, I can see that. Why that would frustrate you.
So wait, how much do you owe?
He says, "Well, as you can see, we have a few speeder bikes. Each of them's worth about 1,500.
Yeah?
So I'm about 10
How much do you
grand
owe?
in debt."
Wow, that's a steep interest rate.
Well, that's without the
Yeah, you
interest.
can always start small.
With the interest, they make it about 25.
That's balls. Yeah.
That's 1.5 times what these things are worth.
No, I did the math. I've been there before, friend. Have you tried leaving the planet, faking your death, and changing your name? It worked wonders for me.
Wait. Got it. Don't trust him. Whatever he tells us his name is a lie.
Well, don't trust me. I could have told you that.
He says, "Well, no, I haven't tried that, you smart-ass little weasel."
Call him like you see him.
We're just trying to get the story here. No need for name calling.
No, he hit the nail on the head on that one. I'll give him that.
So
You're not helping.
wait. No,
Well, maybe the way to do this is to expose them. Have you ever thought of that? Going to the press?
Hold. Time out. Time out again. Literally, I'm still doing time out with this padlock.
Yeah.
This is literally what you just did days ago with dumbass who tried to say he did what we did. Why are you telling him to do that? Just you do it. Your friend is coming, right? Oh my God. Okay, so this is gonna be bad. But this is the one time I'm probably ever gonna say this. Oh, and I hate myself for it. He could help them.
He says, well, if you want to help us, there's one of these CVR representatives that is responsible for these loans and the loans of those that I know. His name, his last
Please
name
don't tell me
is,
he's the one who's paying us.
his last name is Cora. Bo Cora.
Oh, good. That's not the one who's paying us. We're good.
Thank God.
Alright, so I'll type his name here in the chat.
And just to continue this conversation, you do seem pretty beefy, and at some point, we might need someone to go along with us. If you do need to run, and Jeef will totally give you the frequency to his comlink.
He says, well, I'm quite handy with this here axe.
Oh, I bet you are. Just no need to prove it yet. It's okay.
I suppose, well, if you've got yourself a plan, then I guess I can help you, but I don't really want to hurt any innocents. I'm sorry if my boys got a bit excited.
I did my best to keep as many of them alive as possible.
I'm sorry if we weren't as successful as we intended on that.
Well,
note.
I guess they
was
knew
very
the risk,
successful.
and so do I. I'm willing to take it a bit further and show those corporates just what we're here to say.
Wait. What's your name?
Fondor.
Fondor. Do I have to say it like that? Fondor.
You can say it however you want. Just don't
You're
call
very
me late
famous.
for
Did you know they
lunch.
named a planet after you?
What's that?
You're very famous. Did you know they named a planet after you?
He says, I ain't heard of one. Where is it?
Never mind. Well, no, it's in the. We'll get to this later. The point is, I don't really have one. Just continue.
Somebody remind me the name of the person who was our contact at CRV. CBR.
So we didn't really, we just got a printout of the job.
Okay.
There was not really a name attached to it. It was just, we're paying you to do this. This is what the job is. Report back. And the person that you spoke to at CVR, her name...
Just like a clerk or something.
Yeah, the clerk. She... One second. I'll find it in a sec. I think it was Jan or something. Something like that.
That sounds good. Well, I look at Stelia and Jeef.
Yeah.
Did they really?
This is totally bad news.
They totally sent us
But
just to quiet this? Is that what they were hoping?
Yeah, because they wanted him dead.
They just wanted him taken out because they didn't want him to blacken their name.
Yep, they didn't want this to get any further notice.
well, we could always steal some money. No? Okay. What?
He says, "What do you mean?
What?
Steal some money? You mean from them? They keep
Well,
everything digital.
kinda.
Nothing's. We'd have to there'd have to be some sort of computer breakdown for that to happen."
Oh, what if we can find someone to doctor their books?
He says, "Oh, I have no idea how you do that."
Simple. We find someone who can doctor their books. I mean, I can get us started, I'll be honest with you. But
Oh, glorious DM. Would Zello know someone who did that?
Yeah, I mean, so what we've done in the past, is that, we can create NPCs that would be reasonable for our characters to know, and then we can develop them over time. Generally, there's a story point there, but you guys don't have one right now. So, what are you thinking? You could know someone for sure, and we can, put out some details for them. And yeah.
Well,
could we put out some feelers, maybe? I mean,
I'm
I'm sure that we could.
talent know somebody.
I can think of 6, but I don't trust any of them as far as I can throw them.
So, how about this?
Oh.
How about this? Because, right, what I'll do is you guys have accepted this quest, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna spend one of my points here, because CVR is doing some stuff in the background that we're not aware of. Especially Bo Cora for CVR. Now, that's in the background. You guys won't know exactly. Hang on. I've pressed the wrong sheet. This is the sheet I need. So I'll spend a dark side point here for Bo Cora. Now we're not going to know the outcome of that until we get to him, or until we find out some more information on him. And you guys can now spend your story point to make that NPC. In the next half hour or so, while we continue to explore and stuff, do you want to come up with a name and a race of someone?
I've already done that.
You've already done it? All right.
Oh, great.
In my head,
Great.
yep.
Beautiful. All right, so who have we got?
I'm going to type their name out just so we have a record.
Excellent. I love it. Yeah, and then we can make contact with them. Duros Fixer and Book Ballad. Perfect. Dorbo.
Penaketh. Dorbo?
Yep.
Dorbo. Penaketh. Cool.
Duros Fixer and Book Ballads. Duros Fixer. Book Balancer. Alright.
Oh, okay.
Cool. And yeah, he can fix the books.
This is turning into a whole other job. I love it. Like, this is
Very
what
edge
Star
of the
Wars is.
Empire.
It's not something that's like, go do something, go back, it's done. It's like,
Right.
go do something, there's a plot twist, now we've got to do a side quest for the person we're doing a side quest for.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, if Star Wars was like that, they would have made it to Alderaan fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we made it. Thanks, Han. You can go now.
But then the movies would have ended really quickly because they
Yeah.
would have been there for the explosion. Well, that was it.
Cool. Alright, so that's done. We can make contact with Dorbo and get that ball rolling. Now... in order to fix their books, because we don't really... We're not going to be able to really help with that. So what I'm thinking is, and if we're okay with this, this will add an obligation to us. Yeah, we can have a bio, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so take a 5-minute break. And when we come back, we're going to make contact with a Dazcor, because they have sourced a ship for us, and we'll be able to start along the process of getting that ship. So we will be back in a couple of minutes, guys. Just going to flip us over to the Be Right Back screen, and we'll be right back.
I have obligations. I don't think we have any current ones yet. Let me look. So I think I'm the only one with. I mean, I think we only have individual. It's just me individual ones right now. Because I have the favor of horse coming and then my Oh, yeah, we have a debt to Gascourt already. Magnitude 20. That makes sense. By the way, welcome to debt.
Oh, wonderful.
True. Rush. No, you're fine. It's giving me a chance to eat. It's always my dinner time. It's probably like your lunchtime or something, right?
Okay, welcome back. We aren't quite on the screen that I've put us on, but we will get there in just a moment. So, as I said, you guys were able to contact Dorbo, and he's in the process of doctoring those books. It's going to take some time for him to do that. In the meantime, we get a message from Tano saying, look, Dazkor has located a ship. If you guys can report in, we will introduce you to Omaha, who has sourced the ship, and he will accompany you to where the ship is located. It's in one of the abandoned Corellian shipyards that are out in space near here. It'll be about 3 days ship travel to get there. We'll take you in a small transport that Omaha has prepared for you, and he'll come with you to make sure everything goes smoothly. We don't expect that it's going to be that difficult. Pretty much, we've already sourced the door codes and security codes for the ship. We've already phoned ahead, so to speak, to the automation on the shipyards. We've already gotten permission to dock there, and we've already purchased the ship. They already have the credits for that, so everything should be good to go. All you'll need to do is go with Omaha, dock with the shipyard, find the ship. Here is a locator beacon, and he'll pass over the locator beacon to you. So it'll tell you in which bay the ship is located. All you'll need to do is go to the ship, get in, and Omaha will actually fly it home. He is a very qualified pilot. He's a ship wrangler. This is what he does. But being that it's your ship, we want you to go with him. You can familiarize with the ship when you're coming back, and then once you're back, we will make sure we hire a crew for you, and then you can go through the process of meeting them. As far as our timeline for today's session, that will extend to going to the shipyard, securing the ship, flying back, but it won't extend to meeting the crew. We'll actually be doing that next session after today. Is there anything that anyone quickly wants to do, wants to say before we hop on board this transport with Omaha? I will post his name. Excuse me. He is also a Duros.
We didn't catch that. Connor, you might want to repeat that.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you did.
Nope.
Somebody got garbled there at the end, but I'm not sure what it was because I thought I heard what Matt had to say.
Okay. So yeah, Omaha
Okay, that was
Delaga
weird.
is a Duros. Duros ship wrangler. And he actually works for the adventuring company Not Dead Yet. Not Dead Yet is the adventuring company that Adazcor basically owns and runs. But they're kind of like their own section of the business. They do their own thing. They're not... while they're funded by Adazcor, it seems like Adazcor funds a whole lot of things. While they're funded for Adazcor, Adazcor doesn't really have a lot to do with them. They just make sure that the employees keep a good name, so that Adazcor's name doesn't get rubbed in the dirt, so to speak. So that's kind of where everything connects. And Omaha works directly for Not Dead Yet, this adventuring company. And so, yeah, if you want to talk to him before we embark, if you want to do anything, make any purchases or whatever on near Pando before we leave, like I said, it's going to be a good 3-day journey via transport into space, and then 3 days obviously back, and however long it takes to actually find the ship once we get there. It's probably not going to take especially long, but you know, we've packed a week of supplies for everyone.
How much money were we, or how many credits were we able to get off of the weaponry we'd been carrying along?
Right,
We've been picking
so
up along?
exactly how many people we've disabled or killed. So What I'll do is I'll get a group negotiation roll, because if we succeed on that, we can get half the price for them. If we don't succeed on that, we'll only get a quarter of the price for them. So I will quickly do that. Now, I need
Cool.
to... Wow. I'm going to need to restart Roll20 again for the umpteenth dozen time today.
Just does not want to cooperate.
It really doesn't. It's being very difficult to get along with, but that's okay.
So we're expecting Rorsk before then.
Yes. So you can meet with Rosk. Sorry, I've got so many things going. It's like, who's exactly doing what? Yes, Rosk is around. Now,
I think he wasn't due in for another 24 hours or something.
Right, but you've been to this gang's hideout. You've had to rest after that. It was like nighttime when you guys left there. So
Okay.
you've rested the night. You've had a night's rest. You can bring yourself to zeros for your wounds and your strain, as far as I'm concerned.
Nice.
So, and I need my dice pool, which we will pop out to here. And I need Estelia's sheet, which I'll pop out to here. And that will take me to that. Cool. So, yeah. What did we want to do with Rosk? Because I know that we sorted stuff out with Pata because we decided to work with him. So what else were we going to do with Rosk? I just can't remember.
He was gonna try to do something about the... Oh, geez. I guess we changed everything while he was en route, huh?
He was going to help us defame Pata. But then we came up with the idea of offering Pata the chance to be the face of whatever we do. And Pata agreed.
Right.
When Rosk arrives...
It's perfectly fine.
He will... Well, he'll come to you first, Mineth. And would you tell him about the developments, about what's happened?
Yeah.
He shakes his head. And he says,
Okay, absolutely good.
He says, that's not a good idea. He says, in case I didn't mention this, I had a trade deal with Pata in the past, and he did not deliver. He's not the type of person that you get in bed with. He says, I understand that you're in a hard spot, but you know, and I can't tell you what to do, but just between you and me, if you want to be up and up, and he looks directly at you, you've dealt with Ross before, and you know that he's an honest and well-reputed tradesman, and he looks at you and he says, if you want that, that's not the way to go about that, he says.
So it seems if he were to be discredited, then it would still solve the whole problem, wouldn't it?
Except you've made a deal with him. I mean...
There is that.
Can we kill him?
We can probably deal with that down the track, but You can sort of see that he's conflicted. He's like, well, I want to give you good advice, and but I wouldn't have gone down that track to begin with. But you're already there, so I'm not sure what you want to do with that now. He says it's kind of up to you and up to your group. Like, you're not the only one that's been threatened
I can't make
or
this
whatever.
decision alone.
Exactly, and I'm not gonna like judge you for anything that you decide to do, but I just want you to be careful, he says, and I want you to know that Patter isn't he isn't the reputable person that you would necessarily want on your resume, so to speak, when you're talking about trade.
True. Kind of knew that already, but well,
We should invite him on the ship for a tour and kill him. Well,
I'll have
And
to
stain the bulkheads?
talk to the group about it, I guess. We have to we have a ship coming. I'm gonna have to be away for a few days, so maybe
Alright, but as you know, like, I've come some distance to help you out. I'm not gonna rub that in too much, but he stops in the middle of what he's saying. He says, look, I know it'll be okay as far as you and I are concerned. You go and do what you need to do, and you let me know if there's anything else I can do for you. In the meantime, if you don't mind, I'm gonna have to sort out some business. I'll have to figure out how I'm gonna pay for this trip, he says, and he will let you go. So yeah, as a group then, and with our new member, what are we gonna say to him, and how are we gonna get him into this whole thing? Because it's gonna.
Oh, he already talked about leaving the planet and changing his name.
Changing his name, right?
No, that's in the past. I've done that before.
Right. So
you don't want to leave the planet.
Let me.
Oh no, you know what? Let's just keep going.
Let me ask you then, Connor. Knowing Zello, so okay, we're in this time when work is very hard to come by, when the Empire has cracked down on all trade that's going on. They're extorting traders quite heavily, and things are very difficult. In this type of world, having been captured and now being freed by these people who you don't have any loyalty to necessarily, these people, though, seem to have very good connections with a galaxy-wide, or like a universe-wide corporation, a Dazcor. And Dazcor seems to be funding them and has sourced them a ship for their own personal uses. How do we get Zello in on that? What is it going to take for him to come along with these guys and be not necessarily friends, but partners?
Surprisingly little, actually. Zello isn't a fan of the Empire, and they're cracking down. But he doesn't want to join the rebellion. He thinks that's suicide and it's stupid, and they're not going to win.
Right.
He just wants to thumb his face in, to basically say neener, neener, neener to his former employers. The best way to do that would be to be successful in the Outer Rim and to make some real good money, maybe start a corporation of his own. And this seems like a good jumping off point.
Okay. And then for Mineth and Jeef, then what is it going to take for Mineth and Jeef to look at this guy who you've just rescued and who hasn't really done anything for you just yet, to accept him as part of your crew, not necessarily, like I said, not necessarily a friend, but a partner in this venture? I'll throw that over to you guys.
We haven't exactly gotten off on a good foot.
Well, from G's perspective right now, this guy has basically already told us that he's openly lying to us because the name that he's given us isn't his real name, and he's told us that it's not. He has a tendency for ditching out on organizations and running and hiding because he jumps planet and changes his name.
Mm-hmm.
He openly admitted that he's not good with weapons, and in the current state that we're in, that is kind of harmful for our group. If literally let's be honest, he totally took care of the situation with the Gamoran. If he could have done that, why didn't he?
Right.
Like, that's an easy way out. He could have taken care of all that information in that business. And so right now, Jeff is like, I don't know. Like, having someone else around is good and all, but I don't necessarily know how this is going to help us.
So,
I mean, if we're looking...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I'll throw a couple of bones your way, and we'll work this out together, okay? Because, like, you know, we've got nothing against each other as players, but we need to find a way
Right,
that these
right.
characters are going.
Oh yeah, I'm in, and I want to make it clear, I'm in no way offended by any of this.
Right.
All of your points are valid.
Right. Cool. Well, in that case, yeah. So I want to throw a couple of bones your way. So by the looks, so we're going to say, let's say that there's been 24 hours, right? After the fallout in the cave, you know, you guys have maybe hung out for a little bit, and maybe there was something that happened during that time, and during that time, Zello would have proven himself to be possibly the best talker and negotiator that you've seen. Estelia is very attractive and is very graceful and charming, but on a negotiation level, on a even manipulation level, she does not hold a candle to Zello. Zello was able to, in this scene that happened between that and now, manipulate the person and situation to our benefit. And I'm even going to say that that's going to bring us some cash.
Okay.
I'm not. I can't come up with exactly what that was or why, but it's going to get us some cash. And if someone's got an idea for that, then we'll throw it on the table. We'll make that the story.
Can I offer an alternate option?
Sure.
You totally pointed out that even though Menace's friend was coming, we kind of dug ourselves into a deeper hole.
Mm-hmm.
If Zello can smooth that over for us, I'd probably be a lot more welcoming. Like, all right.
Yeah.
Like, I fix
Yeah,
things,
I was
you fix
just thinking
people.
the
This
same
is
thing.
good.
Like, if he could figure out how to maybe even extricate us from this Pato thing and, you know, smooth things with Rorschach at the same time, that would be stellar.
I think that if Zello is willing to to help out with that, he absolutely has the ability to do that. Would you be willing to do that to purchase your position upon this ship?
Absolutely. Not just because it moves the plot forward, but because Zello is kind of vain and really likes showing off.
Right.
And seeing
You're gonna
these
fit in
two
perfectly.
seeing these two schmucks be like, "Oh no, we're trapped in the legalese." He's kind of cracking his knuckles and being like, "I got this."
Mm-hmm. All right.
Nice.
So it happens. Somehow you smooth things over with Rosk. This stuff with Pata, we can figure out where we want that to go, like towards the end of the session. We'll have that discussion, I think, once we've got the ship and making our way back. But Zello's going to smooth that out for us. He's going to be our plot point to make whatever we decide we want to happen. So that's happened. Whichever way we decide at the end of the game, we want that to go. That's happened. It's done. And now, knowing that and given the situation, we probably think as characters that there wasn't really a clear way out of that outside of having this new character come along and help us out. And so that's there. That's enough reason to sort of go, okay, come along with us, let's get this ship. And if if we all continue to be useful, then we can go forward. So, cool. Are we all okay with that? Just making sure. I just want to double check everyone's okay.
Wipe to him walking out the door, or wipe go from him walking out the door to him walking back in, and then as we go away, we see what really happened at the end. I like it. I think it's fun. It's a good situation that it's very Star Warsy. We totally screwed something up and side quest, and then side quest from that, and then you know what? Let's just start helping other people. And we get the situation. Perfect guy for the job.
Cool. All right. I like it. Then the scene then changes to being on board this transport with Omaha. Omaha is a competent individual. He's not a PC though. He's just a helper to fly the ship once we get it back to near Pando, and then he will move on to the next group that he has and the next ship that there is to wrangle. Basically, that's his thing. He finds and obtains ships, brings them back, makes sure that the groups are set up, make sure that there's a crew hired, and then he'll move on to his next job. What is about this game that gets everyone into trouble? It's Star Wars.
Never seem to make the right choices in this game.
Okay, we're on board this transport. It's going to take us 3 days. I'm just going to pass that 3 days. Nothing really happens. You're able to stare out into space. You're able to do stuff on the ship. You can mark up the engines and make them that little bit more efficient in G for G. Mineth can while you're on board, you scan some local systems and you find a trade possibility for yourself that we can explore later on. And for Zello, I don't know what Zello would be doing while these days go past. Perhaps you could inform me about something that might interest him as we go. I know Jeef's mostly interested in looking at the engine and seeing what he can do to fix it or take some parts from it without it breaking down or whatever else. So for Zello, though, because I don't know this character very well, what would he be interested in as we're just flying towards a destination?
Well, I will answer your question with a question of my own. How big is the crew for this sort of vessel?
The one that we're going to, or the one that we're on now?
The one that we're on for the 3 days.
So this is just like a very small transport. There's one pilot, but there's an extra pilot that's here with us to fly this one back. So there's effectively 2 pilots that are with us. One that's flying the ship and one that's there so that they can fly the ship back, because Omaha's going to have to fly the new ship back. There's no other crew, really. There'll be a droid that will be there in the back, just in case the engines go wrong or whatever. But as far as speaking members of the crew, that's all there is.
Okay. Zello is gambling with anyone who will let him.
Oh, cool. Yeah, the other pilot will definitely be into that. So yeah.
And I think if it's okay, in addition to like scanning systems, I think Meneth would also take the opportunity to learn some more about astrogation from
cool.
the co-pilot or whoever.
Yeah. So yeah, both of you
she's
spend
thinking
time...
ahead. She knows where Jeep's gonna want. So
cool. Both of you
she
spend
wants
time
to
with the
be able to
pilot.
swim.
Mineth, like talking about astrogation and navigation, what it all means, and how to plot, I don't know, flight plans and all sorts of stuff. Zello is just gambling, and I'm pretty sure that Zello will win a fair bit of that because he's so good at bluffing. So yeah, you'll be able to gain some credits and whatever through that. And Jeef, I don't know if there's anything extra you want from the trip there, Jim?
Honestly, about the only thing I'd like is some, like, I've got it in my mind, I want some wireless speakers.
Alright.
Like, a bunch of them. I want 3 of them. I want 3 wireless speakers.
You want 3 wireless speakers.
Considering how much of a Celestin is ears, I cannot imagine what their music would be like.
This has nothing to do with music. What are you talking about? I want them for the mechanic stuff.
Cool.
I'm not trying to listen to anything. I want them for...
So it
He
just
wants
so
to take them apart.
it just so happens that this particular ship is, is fitted out to be its full-time job is like as a party kind of vessel, and so there's speakers like in here, and you can like turn it all up, and there's some spares, so you can have 3 speakers if you want them.
Sweet. All right. Okay. I will be playing with them to try to make it so I can send a signal to them wirelessly.
Cool. Well, you can play. Excellent. Well, this all happens. You're on board. It's kind of interesting because you've probably never been on a dedicated party vessel before. But when the pilot will turns the music on, it's quite loud, and there's a mirror ball and
Nice.
yeah. And it's kind of distracting when you're playing Sabacc or Motion Rounder or whatever it is you want to play. But anyway, we pass the time and we get to the shipyard. And the process of docking is as simple as Omaha will dial in the entry code, and a dock will be called out by the automated system. He will fly to that dock, airlock on, come in. Now, what he says is that he will come with you to make sure everything goes smoothly. He says this shipyard is not in active use. It's not like a graveyard of ships, but this is like a storage facility now. It hasn't been in use for some time, and so as we go from section to section, that section's power will come on while we're there, and then once we go through to the next section, the power for the previous section will go off, and the power for this section will go on, so as to conserve energy. So the whole shipyard is powered down until we walk through and the sensors all come on. Life support is on for the whole place, but as far as lights and everything else will come on as we're walking through. So we walk through, and that all is fine. We walk down many different passageways, and imagine that this is kind of like a massive circular like a cylinder. So it's basically just circle above circle, like hundreds of floors high, and each circle has docks, and the whole thing is powered by this massive power rod that goes all the way from the bottom to the top. Basically you're going around, and there's different lifts to and fro where you're going, so it takes quite some time to find the level and the port to which your particular ship is meant to be docked. We finally make our way to that, and there's no sign of anyone in this time. There's little maintenance droids and stuff that you'll see on occasion, but basically everything is relatively silent, except for the vague hum of the power, and the opening of the doors, and the footsteps that you make. All of the floors pretty much in this station are very high grade, thick grating, so you can sort of see through to the levels beneath you as you're walking along these. But they're very high grade. You couldn't shoot through one, for example. And so you make your way to where we focus in on a scene. And basically this scene is you're transitioning between one section and another, and as the power sort of fades for the previous section, coming into this new section, and the lights are coming on, you see these walkways that are leading up to several ports where these ships are docked, and you see the ship, and you can see that your homing device is pointing at it. You can see it there, and as you are looking at it and going, right, this is our ship, this is where we're meant to be, all we need to do is go up to it program the door coordinates. We're able to get in and go away. Just as you sort of are thinking that, sort of on the opposite side of the ship, on the other side of the ship, coming through another set of doors, you see some figures coming through those doors. It's the first sign of life that you've seen here on this spaceport or shipyard. And you see some people that look, let me just drag them over here. They're Quarrents. And
Ooh.
I'm going to just shrink them down a little. And there's a number of groups of them. There's 3 groups of them in total. And finally, I don't know what I'll do is I'll just use this token for now. Alright, this token represents their leader, and the leader is separate from the groups, and you can tell that he's the leader because he's wearing robes not dissimilar to Zello's. They're not quite diplomats' robes, but they're very, very similar. They look like a spokesperson's robes. And they make their way through a door, which is just here. It sort of looks like trash from there, but that's okay. And we are coming in. I'm going to put us just down here through this door. So just behind us, there's this door here. Okay, that's where we're coming through. And the ship is kind of in between us. It's not, like I said, to scale, but it is what it is. We're close, and you got a bit of an idea of what we're looking at. The ship itself, I'm actually going to put the ship sort of here. Okay. Pointing that way. All right. And when they see you, the leader barks an order and says, weapons hot. We might have some competition. And the 3 groups of Quarrens all draw their weapons, but do not open fire. So, over to you guys. What would you like to do? What are you thinking? And let's go from there.
They don't mean us.
They couldn't meet us. This is mean us. This is taken care of, right? I look at Omaha.
Omaha looks back at you and sort of shrugs and says, well, I don't see anyone else nearby.
Pardon me, fair Quarren. Do you perhaps mean us?
The leader will sort of move one range band. The others will sort of flank him, taking up defensive positions. He says, you're here to steal our ship.
No, we're here to pick up our ship.
I would like to try to charm.
Okay.
Should I say what I'm going to say first, or should I have my reflect whether or not I fail or not reflect what I say?
Interesting question. Good question.
Say roll.
Let's see what our roll does. Yeah. So I will put in
Oh,
the difficulty of this.
I
Now,
minus one black dice because of my one of my abilities.
okay, -1 setback. Okay, cool. I'm also going to, in this case, use a light side point. Excuse me. No, I'm not. That's a Stelius thing. Sorry. It's alright. I will refresh that as a GM. I'm using the wrong sheet. Sorry.
Can I can help on this, can't I?
Can you help on this? Yes. You can aid, giving a blue.
Okay.
So it would be hard, but it's going to be 2 purple, 1 red. I've put that in. It would have a setback, but you remove one, so there's no setback. You should now be able to roll that check.
All right, let me at him.
Okay, that's a success because of the triumph. No, it's not, is it? No, it's not. It's a triumph.
But something really good happens.
It's a triumph, but it's not a success. And there's 3 threats there. Okay, so go ahead. Knowing that you don't succeed, what would you like to say? You can say anything. It's not a complete.
The boost is missing.
True. Do you want to let me just? Do you want to just clear everything out for yourself and just roll a blue for me? Because that could get you a success.
Sure. Where do I just roll a blue?
So.
I just type in 1 and then.
Yeah, as long as there's nothing else filled out. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's a success. There we go. So that's going to totally change
Excellent.
things.
Way to go.
So you do succeed. Okay. So you succeed with 3 threats and a triumph. So, what are you saying?
Dear strangers, I haven't introduced myself. I am Zello Benathor, entrepreneur, explorer, all sorts of interesting things I'll tell you sometime. But we are here. It's quite embarrassing, really. We're just here to pick up our ship. We mean no harm to you. And, you could understand that, one mercantile person to another.
Right.
So I would me and my compatriots would very much appreciate it if you just moved aside and just let us go on our way.
Okay. And with that triumph, what would you like to do with that triumph? Because you've succeeded on the check to charm them.
So what are my options really? Like I'm not super familiar with Edge of the Empire.
All right. So the most common things are that you can find out something vital in the situation. You can add something to the narrative or something to the scene that benefits you. You can find out a motivation of the person that you're speaking to. Any of their 4. So you basically choose out of desire, fear, flaw, and strength.
Okay.
And you would learn one of those. Those are the main options. In combat, you can also use them to upgrade the skill of one of your allies' checks, or downgrade the skill of one of your enemy's checks, or upgrade the difficulty of your enemy's checks, or downgrade the difficulty of an ally's check. I know that's a lot of options, So,
Oh, I already know what I want to do.
okay,
I just wasn't going to interrupt you because I don't want to be a jerk.
sure.
Also, I want to learn. So, I want to find out why they're here, like what their whole deal is.
Okay, so some vital information. These Quarrens have been promised. Well, they have paid for a ship, and they have been given a deed for the ship, just as you would have a deed for something else. You guys have the deed for this ship too. The ship that they have a deed for is exactly the same ship that we have a deed for. And they are here to collect their ship just as you are here to collect yours.
I have an idea.
So that's what I can give you. And this you find out by conversing to and fro. Because you've succeeded on your check, they won't open fire on you immediately, but it's becomes clear that both of you are claiming rights to the same ship.
Okay. Okay, so that shoots down that plan.
Why does it shoot down the plan? Sorry.
My plan that I had, I was under the impression that we knew that they had the same deed as we did, but they didn't know that we had the same deed as they did. So I was going to be like, why don't you wait here and I'll get some stuff from our ship and we can maybe do some trading, and we just get in the new ship and leave.
Right. So the way that they are posturing is, I'll put them here, right, which is right like near the ship, and they're like, don't come any closer because this is our ship, and you're like over here going, no, you don't come any closer because this is our ship. I'm gonna say that, because we're not firing at each other, we'll put ourselves there. Yeah, so and then yeah, so that's our situation right now. If you want to, they are willing to look at your deed, and they are willing to have you look at their deed. And it's simply handing over data pads and having the other group, and they would do it at the same time. if you want to do that, and sort of look at the legitimacy of it.
I'm okay with that. I'm down with that.
Okay.
We do have a copy on other datapad, right?
Yeah.
And I start going through my bag, and I'm like, here's the 6 that I've been picking up.
Sure. So okay. I'll check in with...
Here's my Kindle collection.
I'll check in with
That's exactly right.
with you other guys, just before this transfer happens. Is there anything else that either Mineth or Jeef would want to do given this situation? And because we've sort of gone through and given a dice roll, but you guys haven't had the chance to make a dice roll. So is there anything that you guys want to do before I move on with what happens next?
Is there a way to back up and take an alternate route to the ship?
You think so, yes.
I'm going to sneak off and do that.
Okay.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I mean, the honest thing is to look over the deeds. So I don't think there's anything else. Mineth would
admitting that
try
Jeef
at this
isn't
part.
honest.
Honest,
Yeah, well,
this is Edge of the Empire.
Rourke just reminded
Right.
her of who.
Yeah. Having had Rosk in her ear in the last... Sorry, I didn't mean to be so pressing on that, but it is interesting, yes.
But yeah, and it would totally make her be like, wait a minute, what have I been doing?
Mm-hmm.
So.
What am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jeef slinks off. You're able to swap data pads. So whoever, obviously Jeef can't be a part of this particular role because he's sneaking off. But either Zello, Mineth, or Estelia could check their data pad for legitimacy.
Now, what kind of role would that be?
Computers check.
Okay.
If you have not got computers, the next thing would be underworld lore, or I'm just looking at skills now. 1 second.
Streetwise?
Ooh.
Skullduggery to recognize a forgery.
Skullduggery I would allow. Streetwise, probably not, I'm afraid.
Okay, I was using Streetwise for
Deception
Skullduggery.
too.
I didn't know Skullduggery was a thing.
Yeah, so Skullduggery, yes. Computers, yes. Knowledge Underworld. If you can argue a different type of knowledge, I would listen.
I like Chief's idea of deception.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can see if there's
flat out
deception.
use deception to lie to him about it. You don't even have to care whether it's a real one or a fake one. Just lie to him and tell him that you found a flaw.
Yeah, so you can look like you're investigating it and just tell them a flat out lie. Yeah, that's.
Oh, that's the most Zello thing I've ever goddamn heard.
No, I was thinking more like detect the deception as.
It's a lie. This is wrong.
No, that would be more discipline, really, and that's kind of not really. Yeah.
Shoot. Okay. Well,
I think detecting anything like that would be some sort of knowledge skill rather than a general. Yeah.
So if someone's trying to deceive via speaking or in a scene without there being a data pad in there, it's usually a deception versus a discipline check. But we're not really using discipline here because we're sort of checking out the legitimacy of a computer program. So.
Well. Okay.
I think. Okay.
Well, I have computers, but my computer isn't as good as my skullduggery, but I don't have ranks in any of those.
Right. So
we're not talking about an amazing. I mean, I guess I could use a light side point.
You could. Yeah. And
I don't know what everybody else. I don't know what Estelia has. If she.
Nothing really useful in this situation. Her charm's really good. Her coordination's really good. She's got leadership and negotiation, but she doesn't have a knack with computers at all. This is really just not her thing at all.
I do have Underworld too.
Rather than trying to pick, what skill I've got the most ranks in, you're narrating that you're looking at it for deception. So let's roll at computers anyway. Okay?
Yeah.
Even though it's low, we're not just roll it anyway. We'll do that. It's going to be an average check, so I'll put that in, and there's going to be a setback die due to the fact that someone has put this there on purpose. The negative dice. Hang on 1 second. I keep on going to the wrong thing here. So the negative dice are now in, and you are free to use a point if you want to. That's totally up to you. But we're sitting at. Yeah. Okay.
I do. And does that automatically add into?
No, just
add
manually
to there, and then. All right, here we go. Computers.
Okay.
Oh,
very good.
Not bad.
So. You. Okay. You see that this deed is a forgery. You see that it was planted there by whoever planted it there, and that these Quarrens have no idea that it's a forgery. They believe it's absolutely the truth. They are not complicit with it. So with those two strain, though,
Threat.
I don't really have anything story-wise for that, so I'll get you to take the two strain. It takes you a bit to go through it, and you're not really used to looking at code or anything like that. Sort of taxes you a bit. You take two strain.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And Mineth, I'm sure, will probably communicate to Zello and say, and to Estalia and say what she's found.
Yeah.
All right. Meanwhile.
Zello. Yeah. Okay.
Meanwhile, while you guys are doing that, obviously the Quarrens are doing that for yours as well. And Jeef, being that you slinked off, so where I'm going to put you here. You've sort of come through the door, you've gone around, you've come through a different place. Now, so the level that everyone else is on is above the level that you are on. You are the level below them now. So you can come up to the ship rather than across to the ship.
Perfect. Is the ship door actually is the bay door
I'm
open?
going to say that there is an access point here, despite the fact that I've already drawn it out. I didn't really plan on someone coming around, so I'm going to say, just for the purposes of a good story, there is an access point down here. It's not the door, but there is an access point. You can even come in on a cargo lift. So there is actually 2 cargo lifts that come down from the bottom of the ship, and you can get access to one of those cargo lifts if you like.
Sweet. I'll do that.
All right. Cool.
Just keeping on being typical Jeef at this moment.
Right. So are you actually going into the ship at this point?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Wait. Would there be anything that I know about ships like this typically being alarmed? Like there needing to be some passcode that I need to get around?
Well, you've already put in a passcode to get access to the cargo lift. You couldn't have gotten access to the cargo lift without the passcode that you were given.
Great.
So there's going to be no alarm. Long story short.
Okay.
Cool. So the Quarrens look at yours. They hand you back. They do a swap back, and they say everything seems in order with your thing, but so does ours. And you can see they've got no clue about deception and forgeries. They just it's a matter of course that they wanted to swap with you guys. Even if yours was a forgery, you don't think that they would have found that out. They are totally not the type of people that are good at finding that sort of stuff. They're not expecting it. They're not. Yeah, there's nothing there to them that is off.
Who wants to lead this situation?
Oh, absolutely me. Absolutely me.
Go ahead.
Zello's gonna look at their data pad and he's just gonna sort of tut condescendingly, like fake sad. It's like, oh no, see, I hate to break this to you, but you've been ripped off. Now I have sympathy. I have a well of sympathy. I have overwhelmingly overflow with it. So much so that I'm willing to put in a good word with whoever screwed you over. Maybe we can get to the bottom of this. You can get some sort of recompense. All we need to do is get to our ship, and we'll be able to call them up on, a broadband comm system, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
So their first
And that is
response,
going to be. Go ahead.
their first response to you laying this on the table is, what do you mean we've been swindled? What are you talking about?
Do I notice where it's where it's a forgery?
Mineth
Like,
can
do I
show
like?
you, yeah.
I show them. I point out little points of
The discrepancy.
Yeah.
Okay, so they have a look at that. They look at the one at yours as well. Yeah,
You mind if I say something?
sure.
So, after being on the ship, I'm going to get into Minith's ear and just calms her and is like, hey, I'm on the ship. You tell me what I can do.
Cool. I like it. All right, so that's in there in the background. We've got that going. Mineth's ear is humming. They're like, and they look. So they check your data pad for the same discrepancy, and it doesn't have that discrepancy, and they see the difference. And they look at each other, and they look at you, and they go, sorry. They say, so, we've been deceived. And they look defeated about this. They look completely stumped by this. And having a look over them, they look very prepared for this trip up to the space station. They look very prepared to board the vessel. They are even the three groups, not the leader himself, but the three groups, they're in spaceship, there's like spacesuits ready to go. They look prepared for this. They look prepared for there to be resistance here. They do not look prepared for what you've told them. And they look completely stumped. They're mouth open, aghast at this stage.
Zello's going to try to stop them from coming to the conclusion that he thinks they'll come to, which is, we're just going to take this from you.
Right.
So he's going to try to steer them away from that. He's going to put his hand around the shoulder of the leader.
Mm-hmm.
Say, listen, these things happen, and they're very unfortunate. They're downright unfair. But as I see behind you, you have quite a few capable men and women. I say you march down to whoever sold you this deed, and you demand a better ship.
He nods and says, if it's all the same to you, I don't think I would ever trust them again.
That's fair enough.
We're just going to be requiring our money back. And if you're willing to help us get our money back, I mean, a little bit of extra muscle would mean a lot to us. This ship's probably big enough that you could take us along for passengers if you're willing to drop us back. I mean, we came in our own vessel. I suppose we could go back in that. Do you want to fly with us? Maybe you can point out this discrepancy to our employer, the person that sold us this ship. I know this is not really your duty, but we'd sure welcome an extra helping hand.
Sorry if I'm turning this into the Zello show starring Zello, but I'd like to roll.
You're doing great.
Thank you. I'd like to roll whatever skill would be the equivalent of finding out, is this a smoke screen so they can kill us and steal the ship?
Well, yeah, that would be a deception roll, right?
I feel like deception is active.
Ah.
So discipline.
I think it's
Okay.
vigilance versus something like deception, or just
I thought
To
it was discipline. So,
be on the lookout for.
sure. Yeah.
Like,
vigilance is
trouble.
fine, or discipline is fine, whichever is better for you. The difficulty here is just looking. Coercion. So deceit is. Alright. Looking. Deception is cunning. Alright, so you're at 2 red and a purple. I'll put that in for
Ooh,
you.
I do not have very much discipline.
Neither do I.
It's that or
why I was-
vigilance, whichever is better.
I also have very little vigilance.
I could
I have
even,
discipline and computers.
I would even allow you to use Streetwise. However,
Nice.
I will give it an additional purple with Streetwise.
I like those odds.
Okay.
I can help.
All right. So you'll have
Oh,
a
that
blue from Mineth. So you put that in. I've got your. Oh, hang on. I don't have your difficulty
Finally, something
because I
I can
keep
help
on
with.
putting the wrong sheet.
Can we RP the help as Zello leaning in close and speaking out the side of his mouth and be like, what do you think?
Yeah, for sure. So you put in the blue and then just press roll, and we should be good to go.
Okay. So I put in one blue, and then I roll streetwise.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's one hell of a success.
Thank you.
Okay. This Quarren who's speaking was absolutely trying to pull one on you. You think though that was an act of desperation, and they seem, apart from that act of desperation, they seem honorable, and you think that if you sprung the fact that you've discovered this deception on them, that they would back down immediately. With that triumph, you can do something else.
Okay. Triumph.
So finding out parts of their motivations can effectively give you blue dice to more of your social roles with them, and you
I
can use
have an
your
idea.
triumph for that.
That's a very good idea. Thank you. I'd like to find out what their fear is.
Sure. His fear and the fear of all of these Quarren here is isolation. They have, especially him, so they all fear isolation, but he specifically fears being left behind in a space station with no one to rescue him.
I'm going to speak to the Quarren, and I'm going to shake my head. I'm going to say, listen, I don't want to be that guy, but we both know what's going to happen when you step aboard on that ship. The 9 of us and the 3 of us, 9 of you and the 3 of us. I'm not going to play that game, sir. However, I can put out a distress call for you.
Ooh. He turns to the group and he says, quite honestly and above board, he says, "Do you mind if I confer with my friends?"
Absolutely.
So he turns away. Mineth, you've got a minute that if you want to relay something to Jeef and you want him to do something, you absolutely have that opportunity at this point. And Jeef, if you want to do something without her guidance, then you absolutely have that opportunity too.
Stick them up.
I don't think I can fire up the ship, because if this is our ship, it's already fully manned. And there's...
So, this is the situation with the ship. You are the only person in there right now. Omaha was going to come and fly the ship when everyone was aboard. But right now, because you went around, you are the only one on board.
Awesome. Great. So, I then now I'm seeing myself like coming through the cargo hold, just going, "Hello? No, I thought they said this was going to be manned."
No, they
anyone?
said that you would fly it back, and that they would give you a crew once.
And then we'd find the crew. Right. Okay. So it's completely empty, and I'm just kind of looking around. Whoa! And then responding back to Minith with all the texts. And
they have a bar.
And exactly. No, I'm actually gonna go sit in the pilot's chair.
And I'll absolutely fill you in too that they don't appear to be above board, and that we're gonna be extricating ourselves somehow soon.
Right.
Cool.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
Let me throw this up for you just so that you can sort of see.
Oops. How come every time I click the screen, the things you throw up go away?
Because you've clicked the screen.
Yeah.
Let me do it again.
Please. Thank you.
There you go.
Better. Okay.
Yeah. So, this is the UTF amenities. It is a modified YV 100. Usually, on a normal YV 100, the cargo area is about twice the size that it is in this ship. In this ship, they've taken up all of that cargo area with quarters, basically, and medical facilities and other things. And it's clearly designed for an adventuring group. Normally this is a cargo ship primarily, and normally there is not all of that room for other things. But they've modified it heavily to have room so that you can have VIPs and transport them. You can have crew in addition to PCs, and there's facilities for pretty much everything that you could really want, as you can see. So that's that.
So we can run a bed and breakfast out of our ship.
Yeah.
Alternate income.
It's good to have a backup plan.
Mm-hmm. You never know when you might need it. Huh.
How familiar would I be with this kind of ship's layout?
Enough that you would know how to get to the cockpit.
Cool. That's what I wanted to hear. So if I know how to get to the cockpit, I can stop off at number 2, communications.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get on the exterior ship's the exterior comms,
Okay.
and open it up, and I will. Oh,
It's quite a ship.
this is gonna be bad.
It's gonna be bad.
Click it on, and I go. Does there seem to be a problem out there? And as you hear that, hopefully everybody's in a wonderful position enough for me to. Let's see, what is it? Where is the turret controlled from?
That would
Cockpit?
be either the actual turret, because it can be manually controlled, or the cockpit.
Cool. So then, hey, I can lock this ship down. Like, I'm not even making a trick out of this or trying to lie.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is a Chief. I'm already on the ship. And hold on just a second, and you hear the whatever I've been holding just drop and hit something.
Yeah.
I go into the cockpit and lock down the ship.
Right.
Go back in. Yeah. The ship's locked up. It's just me in here. We're not going anywhere yet. So feel free to do whatever you need to,
Right. So
let
Do
those
you have
guys know that
eyes?
it's our ship.
Does he have eyes on us from where he is in the ship?
uh
Or would there, I guess, be a point at which he would?
he can bring up like he can bring it up on his screens. But like there's no window that he can look through. Yeah.
Oh.
So he'd have to like tag the outer senses to look in that direction, which is fine. Like it's all part of the story if you want that to happen.
They're negotiating with their group right now, Chief, and we don't know how it's gonna go, so we may have to make a break for it if this goes bad.
Yeah. Right, so
I can get on a turret if you need me to.
Might not be a bad idea, but you also need to be able to unlock and let us in if we have to
run, yeah. So
run.
the Quarrens, given that you're sort of trying to figure out what they're doing and a little bit is reliant on that, they stop their conversation and the leader turns around and says to Zello, look, if you're able to make a distress call, that would be great. We just weren't prepared for this situation, and he says that honestly. And he says, any help that you can offer us in getting our recompense, getting what we're owed, either our money back or a ship exactly what this is, that would be great. If all you can do is make a distress call, I guess we'll have to deal with it, but
No, pardon me for asking, but how did you get here in the first place?
well, they've got a ship. They've docked just like you.
So why don't you just get back in your ship and go after these people that sold you?
So they say, I don't know what sort of ship you came in, but the ship that we came in is just a transport. Yes, that doesn't really have much of a defense or offense option, and it's pretty much it's the same with your transport. Like the transports don't really have armament to speak of. So pretty much they're saying they've only got them pretty much, and they're scared of it looks like they're scared of whoever it is that did this, mostly because they had no idea that they were able to pull this on them. Like this seems, they're angry and they're scared because they've never had someone deceive them like that before. So they're sort of pleading for help. If you don't want to give it, that's fine. I'm not going to bog you down with it, but they're going to lay that on the line. If you say no, they're just going to walk away at this point. If you say yes, that's fine too. It's totally up to you.
So I turned to Zello. Zello, what if we just took one or two of them with us? Gave them a ride to wherever, right? Or back with us, and then let them figure it out from there. They can't.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, the threat they pose is because there's like 10 of them. If we
Yeah.
took 2, that should be fine.
Yeah. Might be a win-win that way.
Yeah, I say we do it.
Okay.
All right. So the leader will look to the rest of his guys and he'll say, "Okay, I'll come and you can come," and he'll point at one of the others. The others reform a group and go back to their ship, and you have with you Tessek, the Quarren, and his bodyguard. It's on the half hour. Real quick, we'll sort of fast track to scene ending and session ending. So before I do that, let me ask each of you if there's anything you want to do. So, Jim.
No, the only thing is that when they come to get on the ship and there's only 2 of them, I was like, we got people who are indebted with us for taking them along. Why aren't the rest of them? Really? Just 2? I'm a little disappointed that you didn't bring them all on board.
Well, with there being so many more of them than us, Chief, we didn't really trust the situation.
To put it respectfully, Chief, I'm not a dumbass.
No, honestly, you've proven yourself not really to be one, but let's be honest with ourselves. In the past 3 days, we've taken out more than that. I think we could have handled ourselves fairly well. And
All it takes is one stray blaster bolt from my life dad.
right, and from what Minith was sending me, they didn't seem like they were there for a fight. Right. And
True.
Minith's got her blaster on her. You were silver tonguing the whole thing, and Estelia looks like that's all she does is cut things.
You may have a point. You may have a point, but I got this far by being careful.
Hey, just remember, you just joined us.
Well, I have to admit, I felt that caution was the better option this time too. We certainly don't want the ship getting all shot up. Position
It's so hard to get
position of a
blood out
ship
of
and
plastic.
immediately damage it.
Yeah, and as I'm raising the loading dock, I'm like, come on. I thought you were a gambler.
You just want to fix it. I've got your number, G.
Definitely.
I openly admit it.
All right. Well, that's great, guys. So yeah, the cargo hold and the doors of the ship all close. You guys can safely undock from the shipyard, and that is where we will leave the session for today. Thank you, each one and every one of you, for playing. Connor, Jim, and Chris. It's been a blast. And next time we will meet our crew. We will figure out what we can do for these guys, or just deliver them to wherever they need to go and head back. And we will also figure out in the next 5-10 minutes about exactly what happens with Pata. I think we'll do that off screen though, and we'll revise that next time. But for anyone that is watching this, thank you for watching, and we'll be back in a couple of weeks for our next installment. I'm gonna finish up the stream now, and then we'll have a bit of a chat. So let me press stop. Thank you.